Hello, this is Opal Singleton of Exploited Crimes and Technology. We come to you every Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock right here on AM 590, The Answer. Well, what a crazy week I had, folks. This show, for those of you that are new or just tuning in, is brought to you by Million Kids, Million, millionkids.org. And we're a 501c3 nonprofit out of Riverside. We've been in business since 2008, so nearly seems like forever. Our primary business is combating human trafficking and social media exploitation, sextortion, and even crimes like child pornography and money laundering and dealing and educating about gang trafficking and foreign national trafficking, which, of course, is really, really picking up because of the border. And it's been an interesting 12 years here. For the last 12 years, I've served as the Riverside County Anti-Human Trafficking Task Force as their training and outreach coordinator. And I will tell you that I'm proud as punch to do that. We are so fortunate in Riverside County. You just can't even imagine how blessed we are, because we have a strong sheriff that has doubled down when everybody else was cutting back budgets. And that also means we have a strong district attorney, and we have a strong board of supervisors that are serious about combating crimes. Now, I'm not going to tell you it's all perfect. It never is when you get into the crime fighting business. But we are fortunate in that when everybody else was like cutting back their help, our sheriff doubled down on the human trafficking task force and doubled the size of the task force. And it's a darn good thing that he did, quite frankly, because we have seen a massive increase in the amount of trafficking that we've seen. And it's all kinds of trafficking. It's our kids who fall in love with some guy online or gets taken up in a gang activity. Sometimes it's foreign nationals where unaccompanied minors coming from south of the border are brought in and put into prostitution. Sometimes it's from people from Southeast Asia or from China that are brought in and they're put into brothels. And we are seeing a significant increase. We're also seeing a huge increase in sextortion. Sextortion is when your child goes online and gets crazy, okay? Some guy is playing on a video game chat room and he thinks he's talking to a hot little 14-year-old and he sends that photo, or he forgets that live streaming works both ways. Or other times it's a girl that maybe thinks she's got a hot guy on a dating site or pick up on one of those hookup sites or something like TikTok or one of those mass audience live streaming sites. And the next thing you know, they're sending a photo and they're being blackmailed. So that is the bulk of the kinds of things that we work with here in Riverside County, and is significant. Well, I had an amazing week this week. I've trained personally well over 500,000 people. And I quit counting at some point. It doesn't matter anymore. But I am post-certified to train law enforcement, and I do travel across the U.S. sometimes doing other trainings. And this week, I got the privilege of training for the Arizona Supreme Court. I will tell you, I was a little tense. That's quite intimidating. I've trained a lot of judges and a lot of law enforcement, but I've not ever trained a Supreme Court. What an incredible group of people they were. They were having a conference for the upper echelon to deal with the big issues of crime and crime solving. It was great discussions that were overheard about how do you deal with, for instance, repeat sex offenders that get out early, that are out there, that are, looking to offend in those kinds of things? And what about all the technology that is really on the side of the criminal, quite frankly? Very few people talk about how the technology really is benefiting the criminal. For instance, so many of your apps now are going the encoded route, encrypted. And so that it is difficult to get the evidence you need or even find out where they've taken your daughter when she's hooked up with them and they've disappeared. So many of the apps now have geolocation devices so that, you go on a dating site, they offer up the people who live nearest to you. Well, that's a problem if your 14-year-old son or daughter is looking to date on one of those dating sites because they're going to be offered someone that's right down the street, as opposed to somebody who lives in Nebraska that you have time to vet before you get too deep into a relationship. So it's an interesting discussion. And so what a pleasure it was to be able to go to Phoenix and do that particular seminar. I had prepared deeply for it. It was all about the dark web and bulletproof hosting and global child pornography rings. Well, when I got back to reality my very first day that I got back. What happened is that I was invited out to New View School out in Lakeview and Nuevo, I think it is, and great people out there. I'm really impressed with all of them, the principals and the staff, and caring about the children and wanting the best for the children. We hear all about all this crazy curriculum that's out in the world, but what I saw in that school was a caring staff who really wanted to make a difference. And I was given the privilege of talking, myself and a colleague made presentations to 7th and 8th graders about things like trafficking and social media exploitation. What happens when you send that photo online and where it goes? And so to go from the Supreme Court in Arizona to 7th and 8th graders out in a rural community was really quite the range of week. And yet it was so much fun to talk with the kids and be with the kids. I always wonder about it because there's now quite a difference in my age, but kids will listen. I am not negative on today's youth. I work with those kids, and I'll tell you what, they want to be leaders. They want to be influencers, but they need us to give them the tools to do that. And one of the things that I observed, which I have seen so many times before, are these kids want us to believe in them, to find the good in them, and to empower them and to equip them. And that is the work of me and kids. And I think what a privilege that is. Out of all the things that I've done in my life, talking to a 7th and 8th grader is right at the top of the thrill to be able to share with them, the opportunity that they live in. And so I want to spend the rest of this show talking about a new product that we have coming out that I'm just made a commercial on. It is called the I Believe in You Challenge Coin. And I did this because I've worked with these kids and I thought, how do we let them know that we're proud of them, that we believe in them, to help them stand tall when they're in a time of trouble? So you're going to be hearing a commercial. I just made it for what it's worth about how you can buy these challenge coins. But I want to talk about the background of where this came from. I believe with all my heart, regardless of whether you're 6 years old or 17 years old or 75 years old, the 4 most powerful words on earth are, I believe in you. And we have a history of that. I believe that's how you combat trafficking. That's how you prepare your child so they're not out there sending those naked photos or sneaking out in the middle of the night to meet somebody they met online. I believe every one of us deep down in our soul want to hear those words. And we want to hear it from someone we respect and admire and someone that we want them to believe in us. And so that's why we created these coins. I'm going to really go into it in the next section. But one of the things that I think is so powerful is when a parent or a grandparent can give one of these gold coins. They're polished gold. They're a challenge coin. They're not cheap. They're $25 a piece, including shipping. But they're in a beautiful box. And I think, what an incredible legacy that you could leave to a grandchild or a child or to a spouse. And that's really where I'm coming in at this time, because every one of us, regardless of age, want to know that there are people out there that believe in us. And it doesn't matter if you're connected to a Supreme Court or you're in a seventh grader in a rural community. Every one of us wants to be loved, wants to be admired, wants to be included. And that is the power of those 4 words to keep you safe from predators. So this is Opal Singleton of MillionKids.org. Stay with us. We will be right back.
Are you tired of eating at the same old restaurants? Let me tell you about a fabulous Italian restaurant we found in Riverside, Mamma Mia's Italian Restaurant. Their caprese salad is exquisite with candied balsamic glaze. All of their sauces are special recipes using only the best olive oils. The salads are fresh and healthy. They offer a wonderful array of pastas, including shrimp scampi, capellini, bolognese, and lasagna. They're famous for their gourmet pizza, and you can order online for takeout or have a special date for dining in with family and friends. Mamma Mia's caters special occasions and hosts private events. You have to try it out. Mamma Mia's Italian Restaurant, located at 10971 Magnolia Avenue in Riverside, 1 block north of La Sierra on Magnolia. That's Mamma Mia's in Riverside. Be sure to tell Michael, Alex, or Joseph you heard it on AM 590 The Answer.
Hello, this is Opal Singleton of MillionKids.org. I believe the 4 most powerful words on earth are I believe in you. So we created a challenge coin that says, I believe in you on one side and stand tall, you are loved on the other side. This one-of-a-kind challenge coin is a perfect gift for birthdays, anniversaries, graduation, Christmas presents, or just an anytime gift for someone you love. What a powerful message for a parent or a grandparent to give to a young person. This 2-inch coin is made of polished gold. It's striking to look at, and it is priceless to hold. It is packaged in a beautiful black velvet gift box. What a great way to leave a legacy of love that will last forever. To purchase this coin, go to millionkids.org/gallery. Each coin is $25. Go to millionkids.org/gallery to purchase and give a legacy of love.
Real estate sales in the Inland Empire are really hot. Sellers and buyers recognize that these low interest rates will not last. Sean and Colleen at Caldwell Banker Armstrong Properties in Riverside are proud to sponsor this show. They are the best in the Inland Empire. They're fair, honest, creative, and they care about you and your situation. If you're in the market to buy or sell a home, call Sean and Colleen at 951-529-4066.
AM 590, The Answer.
Hello and welcome back to Exploited Crimes and Technology. This is Opal Singleton, and we come to you every Saturday at 3 o'clock right here on AM 590, The Answer. Well, this week I've ran into several people who never miss this show, and it is just so heartening to meet you and find out. I'm just a person who's been doing this for 12 years, and when I talk on the radio, I do it because of a cause, because I care. But to hear you out there and to hear how it's affecting your life is really, really a special thing for me. Well, I want to tell you the background of how these gold, polished gold challenge coins came around. Some of you may have heard this story before, but I've been a widow now. Well, I'm not widowed now. I'm remarried, but I was a widow. And my husband passed away 5.5 years ago this week, as a matter of fact. And we were married for 44 years, and we had a wonderful, strong marriage. It certainly had its ups and downs like everybody else. We both traveled for a living. And then he moved me off to Utah part of the time, which I went kicking and screaming. I'm a California girl. And it was an interesting 44 years. And I was so blessed and privileged to have him in my life. But as he had kidney cancer and then kidney failure, and just an incredibly fine man. And as he was passing away, I had a gig one night where I had to go out and speak. So he was waiting at home. And when I come home, he had just typed out on a blank piece of paper, to the smartest, most beautiful, hardest working woman in the world, love, Del. And I was just blown away when he gave me that. Didn't cost him anything, but he knew he was leaving me and he wanted to leave me something. And trust me, I cherish that. It's over here. It's never far from me, and I valued it. Well, I went through 2 years without dating anybody as a widow, and I'm not a great one, by the way. I work all the time. I was working 80, 90 hours a week, but that stayed with me all that time. I realized that what he was trying to tell me is that when I'm gone, I want you to know I believe in you. Well, just to finish my personal story, a couple of years went by and I met my current husband, and he had lost his wife of 55 years and he had not dated. And so I'm his second date in 55 years. And we've been married about 2 years now and been together 3. And we are having a great time, and how blessed we both are to have found quality companionship, quality relationship going on in the second stage of our life. And he makes it clear that he believes in me. And one thing that's good about this particular marriage is that we accept both of our spouses, because we had long-term marriages that were really great and healthy, and we're very fortunate. But all this time, as I've dealt with kids and parents who are struggling against crimes like sextortion, or they've got caught up into prostitution, or maybe they're hurting and they're cutting themselves, they're suicidal, or they've developed a drug problem. All of these things really throw a difficult time into a family. And until you walk down that road of having a child that doesn't go the way you want them to go, or maybe, the whole family got in a divorce and the children aren't doing well with it, and there's a lot of animosity going on. All of those factors make a child very vulnerable. And so as I've watched it over time, I deal with sextortion, and the way sextortion works is that kids get online, whether it's a guy or a girl. Now, the first thing that we're doing that's just crazy to me is first of all, we're putting prepubescent kids online, and they have no idea what they're doing, and they have no idea what a pedophile is. So how do they ever protect themselves? The FBI this last year came out and said that they believe there's 500,000 pedophiles online at any given time. And so we put our kids online without them recognizing the amount of people out there looking to do harm to them, whether it's to violate them sexually, whether it is to get them to send a photo that they can blackmail for money and, control and that kind of thing. The other thing that's happening right now that's crazy is 76% of our blackmail, sextortion, sex and extortion, that's the word together, sextortion, 76% now are asking for money. And that's because there are third world agencies out there, and recently they've really popped up in the Ivory Coast and the Philippines and Pakistan. And they put their teenagers in a telemarketing center to seduce your teenager. And then once the photo is out there, they start demanding large amounts of money. And in many of these cases, these kids end up hurting themselves or killing themselves rather than to tell. So a lot of the work we do is to educate kids and parents about this and who they're against. But it's our kids are easy prey because they want to be loved. They want to be included. They want to be an influencer. They think they don't understand the danger of just, getting in there and they're saying, well, I'm not doing anything really. I mean, the photo I sent wasn't all that bad. Well, it's bad enough that it'll embarrass you if it gets around the school. And that's what they do. And they then immediately, once they have the photo, they start blackmailing you. But the reason that I say that is that kids are easy prey because they want somebody to believe in them. They want somebody who thinks they're really hot and wonderful. They want somebody who thinks they're cute and attractive. They want to be included. They want to be recognized. They want to be influencers. They want to be discovered. And all of these factors are factors that I think we need as a society to stop and take a look at. because it's one thing to educate a child that, the minute you put a photo online, that you are in a blackmailer's prison. And certainly I do that every chance I get. But the other thing is to understand that that child is vulnerable if they are really needy for approval and affection and attention. And so that's one of the reasons that I created these challenge coins. I want to be able to, number one, yes, certainly it'll help fund our organization. And God knows we need that. We're a small company and we're always fundraising. But I didn't want to just do it for fundraising. I wanted to give a product that a child will cherish for the rest of their life. And I can just imagine a grandpa or a grandma that is wanting to make a difference. The kid is 11, 12, 13. They're getting rebellious. They want to make a difference in that child's life. And that's why I created this coin, so that it's something that a kid would hold forever, even long after grandma and grandpa are gone or mom and dad are gone. It's something they can hold in their hand. It's something that feels very valuable. It's beautiful to look at. But more important, it is something that each kid can take in and carry around, knowing that someone believes in them. I think that that is the most powerful thing that we could ever do, is to let these kids know. I think it's also a powerful thing between husband and wife. I know this piece of paper here is just a piece of paper. It's not a polished gold coin, but I know that piece of paper means the world to me long, 5.5 years after he's gone. I know that I look back and know that there was one person on earth that, regardless of the outcome, they believed in me. And that's why I thought about doing these coins. I look around and there's just so much negativity anymore. It's like we get up and we're bombarded with it from the time we get up till the time we go to bed. That people tearing each other apart, finding the bad in each other, putting each other down, distorting the truth, going after each other. Some of the things that are going on in our government, I'm of the generation when we were proud of our government, proud of our leaders, that we looked up to them. They're people that we wanted to follow and respect. And I look around today and I see so much destruction of each other. And I think how sad that is, because nobody's going to win that game. The only way we're going to be able to make a big difference in our lives is to find the good in each other. And that's why I wanted to develop this challenge coin. I wanted to give a device that, even if you're not a mushy kind of person and have trouble saying those things, it's a device, it's something that you can give to someone else to let them know when the chips are down, you're there for them and you believed in them. My name is Opal Singleton, and this is brought to you by MillionKids.org. So stay with us. We're going to be right back.
Societal Shift, A World Without Borders and a Home Without Walls. This is the most important book you will read this year, especially if you have children or grandchildren. We are living at the most important time in all of history. In 2020, the entire world will be connected by internet, more than 6 billion people coming together. Technology will provide many great advantages for our kids, but a world without borders for our kids is also a world without borders for pimps, predators, pedophiles, cartels, and organized crime. It is a home without walls because 87% of the kids sleep with their phone. It is the greatest societal experiment of all time. Our kids are technology geniuses, and their parents are technophobic. Some are techno-impotent. New apps come with no warnings on how a predator will use them against our kids. Advancing technologies like encrypted messaging, vaporware, artificial intelligence, cryptocurrency, and the dark net will challenge law enforcement, teachers, and parents to keep kids safe. Recent research states that 9,000 kids a day are being blackmailed with a naked photo, and 58% will meet their predator. It is indeed a societal shift, and one in which most parents are unprepared. If you are a parent or grandparent, teacher, counselor, or social worker, please take time to read Societal Shift, Only $18.99 plus $6 shipping. Order today at millionkids.org. That's millionkids, millionkids.org. It'll be the greatest gift you can give your family and yourself. Order Societal Shift today. Million Kids takes checks and credit cards. Opal Singleton, the author, will personally sign the book and send it to you. Again, go to millionkids.org and order Societal Shift today. Join Million Kids. Keep our kids safe from predators.
Hello and welcome back to Exploited Crimes and Technology. This is Opal Singleton. If you want to look up our organization, go to millionkids.org, MILLION, millionkids.org. It's called Million Kids because more than 1 million kids are human trafficked around the world. But if you go to our website, I'd encourage you to do that. Sign up for our newsletter because we send out about local cases, about new technology, about new laws that are coming out. And we've just opened up the I Believe in You gallery. And we're just getting started on it. The challenge coins will be on there that you can go ahead and order them. And we will ship them out to you. We have a couple of my books that are on there. I'm a glass artist. And in the last, as the laws changed in the last few months here in California, I decided I wanted more balance in my life. And I went back to doing glass art. And I've done glass art for years, but then with the loss of my husband, I had to move and I had to put it all in storage. But it's all out now, and I've been making glass bowls and things like that we're putting on there. And another lady by the name of Nancy Probizanski, her name has 6 syllables, I need to think in it, but she is extremely talented, crocheted wire jewelry. And so we're putting that on there. She's donating part of it to the cause of Million Kids. And we're going to have a line of I Believe in You products, starting with the challenge coin and also some jewelry that a lady from Colorado is making. So all of those are on there, and I just really wanted to share them with you. I took this route, and I had to step back about 2 months ago. And because to be fair about what goes on in our business, about, I guess it's almost 3 months ago now, Governor Newsom signed a bill called SB 357. Now, I spent a lot of donated money fighting that bill. I felt like it was our mission, our passion. We needed to stop that bill. We lost. That's that simple. I don't know how else to say it. That bill starts in January, where it will legalize street prostitution. Now, when Governor Newsom signed it, he said, well, it won't really legalize it. Well, let's be straight here, sir. When you sign a bill that says law enforcement can no longer intervene when loitering for the solicitation of street prostitution, that means that it's going to be able to be legalized because law enforcement cannot intervene. So all the double talk is kind of a turnoff for me. And it really set me back a ways because I have fought this. But the bill goes into effect now, January 1st. The bill actually passed last October. And I have never seen this happen before. But what happened is that Senator Weiner wrote the bill, and he held it after it was passed in the Assembly and the Congress, the House. He held that for about 9 months until the recall election went across and then the primary election. And it was at that point, then it went to Newsom and he signed it. So I guess he was holding it back to make sure that Governor Newsom didn't get recalled and that he did get elected in the primary. But this bill breaks my heart, quite frankly. It will change your life and the life of your children. And I believe that. And that is why you're seeing me try to go back to the positive of getting back to the basics, teaching our children what's right and what's wrong, teaching our children that you don't send sexual images, not just because you're going to be blackmailed, but because you have self-respect. that you believe in yourself, and that other people believe in you, and that you want to do something good and valuable with your life, and you're not going to do something stupid on social media that will mess up your life for the rest of your life. So this bill will start January 1st, and basically what it says is that you will see prostitution solicitation for both buying and selling, because it doesn't clarify one way or the other, on the streets of California. Now, I've talked to several people of late who, when I first say that, think that I'm nuts, okay, that I lost my mind. I had that with a particular physician in the last couple of days, and they couldn't believe it. And I said, go look it up. Here it is right here. And he came back and said, oh my gosh, University Avenue over in Riverside is going to be just like the 1980s. Yeah, it will be. And so will Figueroa, and so will be 5th and G. Okay. And Florida Avenue out in Hemet. All of these will be back. There are no limitations on it, so that this kind of thing will take place in front of businesses and schools and your home and even churches. There is no limitation on where it can or can't take place. Now, we're only predicting at this point how this is going to go. We don't know, but there's no indication that law enforcement will be able to curtail it, unless, of course, it's a minor. But then a lot of your minors that are 16, 17 look like they're 18 and 19 and 25, So we're going to see how this goes. But because of this, and because of the fact that so many countries are now setting up telemarketing centers to trick and get money out of our kids, it's all about using sex for money laundering. In other words, prostitution, trust me, most of those people that are performing those services do not get the money that is paid to them. They might get a very small portion of it, but most of it is cartel driven. We've had several unaccompanied minor rings here in the Inland Empire of kids that are 15 years old brought over from south of the border. And all that money is going back to the Mexican cartel. It is about making money through exploitation. The same kind of thing that if you get your child to send a naked photo to what he thinks is someone in a video game chat room that's hot, and they end up in one of those telemarketing rings, that money is going back to, the Ivory Coast or the Philippines or Pakistan or a myriad of others. But your child's life is ruined forever. So as I deal with kids, what I see with them is they don't want to be blackmailed, and they don't want to be tricked, and they don't want to be violated. But they don't know how to figure out who the good guy and who the bad guy is. I share with kids, and I'll share with you, you don't have to be pretty. You don't have to be smart, although many of our victims are straight A students. Some of them, a couple of them recently were homecoming king that ended up taking their own life because when they get caught up in one of those telemarketing centers, they get absolutely brutal. They want money and a lot of it, or they're going to destroy them, and they will destroy them. So as I've talked to these kids, what I realize is they're easy prey because they want somebody to care about them. They want somebody to believe in them. They want somebody to be proud of them. They want somebody to recognize their value and their worth. And this is one of my efforts in doing this by creating the I Believe in You coin, to sit down with your child. Now, I think social media, this generation is going to live and breathe it. It is the first generation that can reach the entire world, and the entire world can reach our kids. But we don't have any programs in school to prepare them to understand who all these pedophiles are, how they operate, and where that photo is going to really end up. Once they start to understand a photo can end up to 1 million people in a 5-minute period, they are kind of blown away. And yet they still kind of think one of these people really care about them. You see, they're using real live relationships as a gauge, to evaluate what's going on with someone they can't see. I share with kids the way you don't become a victim online is you know who you are and what you stand for. You decide you have one life and you're going to make something of it. And you're not going to let some idiot out of, the UAE or Philippines or some other place destroy your life, a person or many, many people you have not met. But the other way that you do that is that you know that you are valuable, that you are loved, that you are cared for, that you have people who believe in you and support you. And that is why I wanted to come up with this line of coins, that we would be able to have something that we can give to a child that means something to us, to let them know, I am very, very proud of you. And I am here for you, and I always will be here for you, even when I'm gone. And so that's why we're doing what we're doing. If you want to purchase one of those coins, go to millionkids.org and go into gallery. Millionkids.org and go into gallery. Now, it's not millionkids.com. That's a rock band. It's millionkids.org. This is Opal Singleton. That's at break time again, so stay with us. We're going to finish up here in a minute. Be right back.
Custom Service Systems, a proud supporter of Million Kids, is a family-owned and operated commercial cleaning company servicing the Inland Empire and surrounding areas since 1974. CSS takes pride in their ability to maintain the business facilities they serve and their long-lasting relationships with their valued clients. CSS provides a variety of cleaning systems customized to client needs, including deep cleaning and disinfectant to be COVID-19 compliant. From basic office cleaning to windows and floors, CSS will clean up your mess so you don't have to stress. Custom Service Systems cares about families and communities and wants to give back. Custom Service Systems are proud supporters of Million Kids to keep kids safe from predators. If you need the best cleaning services for your business or corporation, contact Custom Service Systems at cssclean.com. Again, cssclean.com, or call 951-781-9345. That's 951-781-9345. You will know you found the best. Custom Service Systems.
Hello, this is Opal Singleton of Exploited Crimes and Technology. Let me tell you about my friend Doris Anderson at Remax Realty in Upland. She is amazing. She's kind, she's patient, but she listens. And she's informed, and she will help you with your real estate transaction in a way that works for you. Doris, in full disclosure, often supports the work of Million Kids because she cares about young people. But she knows how to analyze a market, how to market a property, and how to find just the right transaction for both buyers and sellers. If you're looking to buy or sell real estate or invest in income property, contact Doris Anderson at Remax Realty 951-733-8899. That's 951-733-8899. 951-733-8899.
This message is all about Million Kids, the organization that helps locate missing kids throughout Southern California and educates to keep kids safe from predators. Million Kids educates school administrators, teachers, parents, and teenagers how predators identify a potential victim and the methods they use to recruit innocent kids. BMW of Riverside is a proud supporter of Million Kids. Visit BMW of Riverside at the Adams Street exit off the 91 freeway or click bmwofriverside.com.
AM 590. The Answer.
Hello and welcome back to Exploited Crimes and Technology. We're talking about the new release that we're doing this week of the challenge coins, the I Believe in You challenge coins. I came up with this idea as I was going through the desert of my life after SB 357 passed. I sat down with my team, and yes, there are other people with Million Kids. It isn't just me. And we sat down and said, we got to return to the basics. You know, we've got to find the positive. Anybody can find the negative. I'm off on a tangent here for a minute, but I was taken by watching the media on the Queen's burial and all the laying in state and like that. This was a woman who believed in her family and believed in her kids and went through all kinds of challenges. And what an extraordinary human being who who was able to die with dignity, even though she went through some very hard times. It was really, really fascinating to me about what a lesson in character, that she never took the low road. She didn't go out and badmouth something that was going on in her family. She did admit that there were times there were challenges in her family, but that was one classy lady. And this was a tremendous opportunity to bring that home. Instead, almost every channel spent hour upon hour upon hour dragging through about Andrew and Meghan and Harry. And, did Meghan speak to Katie? And, on and on and on and on. And I thought to myself, why is it in our society we feel the need to desecrate everything, to be able to bring it down to some level that we're more comfortable with? And I thought, what a tremendous opportunity to show leadership and to understand that here was a woman that lived her life. Now, she wasn't perfect by any means. And monarchy or not, I don't really care one way or the other. But what I saw was a woman who wanted to take the high road. And I also saw a woman who continued to tell her family how much she believed in them, even though some of them were certainly going south on her, and there's no doubt about it, or decided to at least separate from them. And so I think I look at this and I say, why is this happening? Why do we feel the need to take the low road when in fact there is such a need in our souls to find the high road in each other? And so I'm going to kind of call on all of you as adults that are out there, that if you have somebody in your life that you really want to let them know that you're standing there with them, maybe it's your spouse that's going through a hard time. Maybe it's a teenager that maybe is trying to sort through who they are. Maybe it's a young kid and you're getting quite old and you don't know if you'll be able to leave them a legacy to remember them by. So there are a variety of ways that this can take place. But I thought to myself, this is what I want. I want our legacy of million kids to be that we believed in people, that we took the high road, that we helped them solve their problems, yes, but that we wanted them to know that they are worthful. Is that a word? Worthful. Maybe we should make that a word. That they're valuable. You see, that's how you equip a kid so that they don't get easily seduced by some pimp and end up in commercial sex. That let them know that they are everything in your eyes. Help them find the good in themselves. Don't prey on all the negative. All of us, if you wanted to find the negative in me, you could spend a day and a half doing that. But, the one I'm going to remember is the people who found the good in me. And I think that is true of our kids. And, we have to bulletproof our kids against being easy prey online. Those guys are playing a numbers game, and all they're looking for is available and vulnerable. So teach your kids not to take the low road, not to be available and vulnerable. Tell them and share with them, how proud you are of them, that they're willing and wanting to do what is right and wanting to be leaders. I believe how we raise this generation of young people, the ones that are, if you think about what's happening in our society, because of 5G, this will be the first generation that is connected to the entire world. Okay. And the entire world is connected to them. More than 5 billion people online at any given time. And there are some good guys and there are some bad guys. But what is happening is that the bad guys are just simply going through all the websites. They're going through all those dating sites, and they're looking for low-hanging fruit, for someone who doesn't believe in themselves, somebody that they can recruit, that can be easy prey. And so the way that we help our kids is to say, I want you to be a leader to the next generation. I want you to take the high road. You are going to be somebody. You're going to set standards, and you're going to be somebody. I can tell. I'm so proud of the way that you do things. And I want you to be the leader for the next generation. I think how we bring up this generation of young people will set the stage for all generations to come, because this is the most important generation, as this is the first generation that's being connected all over the world to millions of other people. So if there was ever a time in history to get back to the basics, it's right now. Right is right and wrong is wrong. And we're going to take the high road every time. And we're going to find the things we like about each other, and we're going to empower them, and we're going to embellish them. So if you're interested in purchasing a challenge coin, they are just starting to come out. I got my first 100, another 100 are on the way. And the front part of it says, I believe in you. And the back part of it says, stand tall, you are loved. These are 2 inches. They're polished gold. They look valuable. They are valuable. They are absolutely beautiful. They come in a gift box, and it will be something that you can give to a child that they will never forget. By the way, you can give it to a spouse, and they will keep it also. There's something to carry with them for the hard times. When things aren't going the way you want, you know you're not alone. So go to millionkids.org. We're going to price them at $25, including shipping. Hopefully we can afford that and still make some money to run our company with. But go to millionkids.org and then go into gallery, and you will see some artwork in there. You'll see some jewelry in there, and you'll see the Million Kids coins, the challenge challenge coins. I believe in you. Well, thank you for listening today. I just kind of sharing from my heart. The last few weeks have been the hardest days of my life in this business. There is no doubt about it. The thought that this state is going to legalize street prostitution is just devastating for me, because I see the results of it. I get that you can decide you want to be a prostitute if you're an adult. I get that. But what few people understand is once you're in that life, everybody takes money from you. And usually it's a pimp or an agency. The same kind of thing then happens online with so many of those blackmails. And I look at this and I say, the way we have to deal with this, I can't change that law anymore. I did everything I knew to do to change that law. But what I can do is get back to basics with our kids. We can teach them how all of this works so they can protect themselves. The world they're going into is a completely different world, the one you and I grew up in. And so if there's ever a need for parenting, it is right now. If there's ever a need for grandparenting, it is right now. Those old-fashioned values, that chance to say that you're there for them, that, yeah, life's going to get tough. It will. You may lose your loved ones. You may see other people stealing stuff that is not theirs. You may see people out there selling sex that isn't going to lead to anywhere good. You see that, but you can also share with them that whenever you take the high road, you're going to have a better life. That low road is going to cost you, and sometimes for the rest of your life. So if you're interested in buying a challenge coin, go to millionkids.org, go in the gallery, and I'd love it if you did. This is Opal Singleton, and our organization is millionkids.org. I appreciate each and every one of you that support our work financially and help us as we take calls from kids who are in trouble and take calls from parents who are missing their kids or their kid who's taken the wrong road. We can't do that without you. You can donate at millionkids.org. I so much appreciate you. So have a great week this week, folks. Put your arms around your family and your kids and your spouse and let them know you're proud of them and that you love them and that you're going to be there for them. See you next Saturday at 3 o'clock on AM 590.
Hello, this is Opal Singleton of Exploited Crimes and Technology. I want to tell you about a book I wrote called Seduced, The Grooming of America's Teenagers. It's all about how predators access, groom, recruit, and exploit our young people using social media, online gaming, video chat rooms. Technology is changing at the speed of light, and we have to understand how to keep our kids safe from predators. So you can get this book by going to www.millionkids.org. It's $16. I'll sign it and I'll ship it to you personally. We hope that you will order this book, educate yourself about how to keep our kids safe in this day of changing technology. Join us each Saturday for our radio show at Exploited Crimes and Technology at 3 o'clock on AM 590. The Answer.